Now, you were talking about same-sex marriage, right? So then why, if all the youngsters are so keen or the society is ready for it, then why government is taking so long? Now this IPL is going on. Why in India the cricket is, compared to the other sports, given so much of publicity, money, the cricketers earn so much compared to the other sports? Why?
So in UP there is also UPMP, there is also this thing that, if you commit a crime, I'll come and pull your house down. So do you think this is correct?
No, sir,
This
this
is
is
very popular with people.
what people in West UP do is completely different from people in East UP. Yes. Does that mean we divide it into two?
There is a constant demand everywhere that since you are trying to join the government, that bring the old pension scheme back.
Yes.
And this new pension scheme is not working. There is no social security. So what are your views? Should we bring the old pension scheme back?
If we had to bring in reforms in judicial,
Yes.
what two most important reform do you think would be?
Please may I come in, sir?
Please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, ma'am. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Yes,
Please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
You call yourself Mahindra.
No, sir. Jainom.
Jainam.
Yes, sir.
What does Jainam mean?
Jainom means followers of Jainism.
So you are Jain and then Jainom.
Yes, sir.
Very good. And Mahin Kumar is your father's name.
Yes, sir.
Very good. So Jainom,
Yes.
let me tell you, when you enter, you had to greet the lady first.
Yes, sir.
And if the lady happens to be the chairperson, that is all.
Yes, sir.
You don't have to greet each and every member.
Yes, sir.
If there is no lady, then you just greet the chairperson.
Okay, sir.
If the lady is not the chairperson, you greet the lady and then the chairperson and that's it.
Okay.
So, Jainom,
Yes, sir.
what are your views on same-sex marriages? Should it be allowed or not allowed, and why? Your views.
Yes, sir.
Your views can be different than my views. Don't worry about that.
Yes. Sir, I think it should be allowed, and government should promote it, because everywhere around the world now there is recognition of same-sex marriages. So I think India should also move towards a progressive idea and recognize same-sex marriages.
Just because it has been accepted all over the world, we should accept it, or there should be some intrinsic logic to it?
Sir, I believe it is part of right to life and right to live with dignity. And I would say that each and every person should have right to marry a person, whoever she or he likes.
Good, very good.
Yes.
Rather than saying it has been, since it has been accepted all over the world,
Yes, sir.
it doesn't mean many.
Yes.
Very good. Tell me, what are your views on the success of Swacch Bharat Abhiyan?
Yes. Sir, I would say it has been successful because many villages have turned into ODF, and many villages are also turning into ODF plus now. And there is also third criteria that has been evolved by government. So I think it is moving towards a progressive idea, and I think Swachh Bharat mission is very successful.
You are talking only rural area, but now large population is living in urban areas also. You did not say anything about the urban
Yes, sir.
areas.
Yes, sir. I would say urban areas are also moving towards more cleanliness and hygiene and sanitation. For example, if we consider Indore city.
So suppose I ask you, what is the main element of success of such a Bharat Abhiyan? What would be that?
So I would say people's participation is main element of success in Swachh Bharat mission. Because if people are not participating in the movement that is being organized by government, then it will be very difficult for any scheme or any movement to succeed.
Right. Do you find any shortcoming in the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan as far as urban areas are concerned?
So I would say there are problems in many areas. There is problem with segregation of waste. If we consider tier 2 cities, there has been a huge problem with segregation of waste because they are not separating wet and dry waste, and they are collecting it together in many tier 2 cities. So I would say this is one problem. And second, I would say urban local bodies are not having enough funds to carry out the cleanliness and sanitation drive. This is also a big problem.
So you come from Hyderabad?
No, sir. Sir, I come from Nandurbar in Maharashtra.
All right. So
Yes, sir.
in your town,
Yes, sir.
is there a problem of segregation? Is it causing any issue?
Yes, sir. I have seen in Nandurbar there is problem of segregation of wet and dry waste, whenever the waste collectors are coming to collect waste in Nandurbar, I would say that they are not separating wet and dry waste. They are collecting it together.
Then what happens? Thereafter, it is collected, and then what happens?
Sir, I am not aware about the process,
Then how
what
do
is
you
happening.
say that the problem is segregation? If
Yes.
you do not know what happens once the garbage has been segregated.
Sir, I would say if they are not collecting it from house, separating it at the from where they are collecting it, then it's very difficult to separate it afterwards because they are.
It will be a little more difficult, that's all.
Yes.
You see, if you are going to segregate it at the point of collection, it is relatively easier.
Yes, sir.
But even then, if it is not segregated at the point of collection, it can be segregated a little later, as is happening today.
Yes. Sir, I would say this is very difficult because already urban local bodies are having shortages of human resource, and if you are not segregating it at source, then it will be very difficult to segregate it afterwards. So that's why I was saying that there is a problem of segregation.
Don't you think that unless we have a solution to take care of garbage,
Yes, sir.
mere collection will not make any difference, much of a difference.
Yes, sir.
It will only remove garbage from place A and will deposit garbage at place B. How is it helping you?
Yes, sir.
No. Ultimately, it has to be treated.
Yes, sir.
And how do you treat garbage?
Sir, there are a number of ways of treating garbage, and one is
This is what I was asking. How are you treating your garbage in your locality or in your town?
sir. Sorry, sir, I am not sure
Ah.
how they are treating it.
Okay.
Yes.
If we had to bring in reforms in judicial,
Yes.
what two most important reform do you think would be?
So I would say the most important reform would be increasing transparency in collegium system, which is not present because they are not disclosing the criteria or procedures for selecting any judge to Supreme Court or High Court.
Now, suppose you become the decision maker.
Yes, sir.
So, what kind of a transparency would you bring in?
So I would say that the office of CJI should be brought under RTI, Right to Information Act.
All right. So,
And-
then what will happen?
And so it would increase transparency because
How?
people will be able to know that how the judges are selected, the criteria should be more clear.
You think that the judges which are being selected
Yes, sir.
do not have enough merit to get selected and appointed as judges?
So I say that they have enough merit. All judges have enough merit to get selected, but there is lack of transparency because it will create an issue of legacy, and this will create a problem. And people will start questioning judiciary. If judiciary is more transparent, then
Give me any example where you think the selection was not fair.
sorry, sir, I am not aware of any example where the selection was not fair.
So, how do you come to a conclusion that you have to bring in more transparency for improving the quality of selection?
Sir, there are a number
All
of
right, okay.
Okay,
I
sir.
take one suggestion is that you should bring in more transparency in the selection collegium system.
Yes, sir.
What?
And second, I would say there is need to increase judicial infrastructure in judiciary.
What is meant by judicial infrastructure?
Sir, there should be more number of benches, more number of capacity, number of sanitation, hygiene facilities in court, and also we can bring in e-system, e-court system, so that there is a facility available for taking cases online.
So what you are saying
Yes.
that the reform would be what? What should we say? This number 2 reform.
Yes, sir. So it would be reform in infrastructure of judiciary.
So when you say infrastructure, that means IT infrastructure, or you are saying number of courts should be increased?
So I would say both. There is also need to increase digitization of courts, which is also an ongoing initiative of government.
All right. So suppose you say that the number of courts have to be increased. Why government is not increasing the number of courts?
So I would say there is funding issue.
Funding.
Yes, sir.
Government of India has got big instrument.
Yes, sir.
money will not be a problem for creating some infrastructure, some buildings, etc.
Yes, sir.
These buildings can always be taken on rent also. That's not a big issue.
So there have been reports that judiciary is lacking funds for increasing its infrastructure. There is also not a separate organization which is looking for infrastructure in judiciary.
Do you really think that the number of courts are not adequate?
No, sir, I would not say number of courts are not adequate. I would say there is more scope for increasing number of benches so that people get access to justice and they don't have to move.
तो benches तो उन्हीं की बनी ना जो judges होंगे और judges require a little bit of space. Do you think the number of judges are less?
Yes, sir. There is also issue with number of judges because India has only judges about 20 judges per million population. So this is also a big issue.
Population is one part, but it's a question of litigation.
Yes, sir.
The number of litigation, the number of cases.
Yes, sir.
No?
So there are many problems with judiciary. I would say all problems are contributing together. Lack of judicial infrastructure, there is lack of number of judges, there is increasing number of litigation, and almost 50% litigation comes
Have
from
you
government.
ever been to any court?
Sorry, sir.
Never.
No, sir.
Maybe. My last question,
Yes, sir.
or last but one. Similarly, suppose I ask you to give me some suggestion for bringing reforms in administration,
Yes, sir.
administrative reforms.
Yes, sir.
Give me two major reforms you would like to introduce.
Sir, there should be a 360-degree performance appraisal of civil servant. 360-degree performance appraisal.
How does it work?
Sir, in every aspect, the civil servant should be assessed in each and every aspect of civil services in which he is performing.
Who
his
does
job.
that? Do you think that government of India today
Yes.
is adopting this 360-degree evaluation? Is it helping us?
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware that whether the government is doing it or not, but I think
So,
this
if
will.
you are not aware. So you must be knowing what exactly is meant by 360.
Yes, sir, I am saying in every aspect he's assessed.
So even suppose you are reporting to me,
Yes.
I'll assess you on every parameter.
Yes.
So all 360-degree parameters. So what is the problem? Today that is being done.
Sorry, sir.
Anyway, my last question. Do you think discipline is more important,
Yes.
or do you think that efficiency is more important?
I would say, sir, both are important, both discipline and efficiency.
Mhm.
Because without discipline, there may be cases that the person is performing efficiently, but is violating rules, laws.
Like,
Sir, if he is making his administration smooth by taking any step like is violating rights of people.
all right. Thank you very much, Jainom. I
Thank you,
request my colleague to take over.
Taking the conversation forward, you just if I have to ask you what is more important, status or wealth? Power. Status, wealth or power?
Ma'am, I would say everything is important.
Everything
Because-
is important.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So do you think in a particular job or in a particular action you can acquire all the three?
Yes, ma'am. We
How?
can.
Example?
Ma'am, if a civil servant is working well, then he gets social respect. So that is a form of status. And if he is earning money by performing well, like if the government is giving performance-based incentive.
Does the government give performance-based incentives for the civil servants?
Sixth Pay Commission has recommended to give performance-based incentive, but I'm not sure whether the government has implemented it or not.
Okay.
So I would say if a civil servant is performing well, then he can earn wealth by increasing his performance. And the third thing, power, when the civil servant has enough powers under his ambit. So
all three can be acquired
Yes,
by the
yes.
same. Okay, very good. Now you were talking about same-sex marriage, right? So then why, if all the youngsters are so keen or the society is ready for it, then why government is taking so long? Why the third gender has to really fight for their rights?
Ma'am, because the government is thinking that the society or the tradition or culture is not in favor of same-sex marriages. So the government is keen on protecting its vote base. So
You think so? But you think the society is ready for it? Now, how do we then differentiate between the live-in relationships, marriage?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, I think everything is getting acceptance now because the new generation is in favor of same-sex marriages, is in favor of live-in relationship. So, with increasing education and awareness among youths, I think.
So, institution of marriage has no significance now.
No, ma'am. It has significance.
It has significance.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Very good. You were born in Hyderabad, but then you studied in Pune.
Yes.
Otherwise, you're from Maharashtra, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Any connection with Hyderabad or Andhra Pradesh? Any idea?
Ma'am, my maternal grandfather used to live there in Hyderabad.
Okay.
So that is only my connection with Hyderabad.
Okay. Okay. So, have you been reading about this division of Andhra state? Yes, you've been reading? Okay. What, according to you, who has gained it? Gained from the division, Andhra or Telangana? I mean, it's almost 7 to 8 years, a little more than 8-9 years.
Ma'am, both have their own problems and both have their own benefits. Like if we are considering Telangana has lost its port access. Now it is a landlocked region. So this is a loss for Telangana. But Telangana is now having Hyderabad as its city center, which Andhra Pradesh is now trying to make its capital city as Visakhapatnam.
No, but that's what said that for 10 years they will be sharing the capital. Only
Yes,
after 10 years that the capital will be. Okay.
Yes, but the Hyderabad is major economic center. It was major economic center of Andhra Pradesh, and so the major economic activity that is taking place in Telangana because of Hyderabad. And this is not the case with Andhra Pradesh. And Andhra Pradesh is also seeking special category status from the government because of that. And I would say there are both benefits and losses for both the states.
Okay. You were a science student, then why did you choose political science and international relations for your optional, as an optional?
Ma'am, I thought it overlapped more with GS subjects and I thought it was interesting. Mostly IR I found very interesting. So I thought it is better to take an optional that will help me cover the syllabus fast.
Okay. If suppose somebody has absolutely no knowledge about it, how would you explain it to them? What is political science and what is politics?
Ma'am, political science is a subject that deals with relationship between various political actors, like the government or state or the international organization and people.
And politics?
Ma'am, politics is interplay of political science, I would say. It is an action. Political science is a theory and politics is something that is taking place in action. Like if anything political is happening, we say it's politics.
Suppose, say, for example, two friends are talking to each other. One friend might just immediately say, don't try to play politics with me. What exactly do we mean by that? It's a very common phrase which we use, no?
Yes, ma'am.
So what do we mean by that?
Ma'am, it is said that you are trying to gain some unfair advantage by playing politics with me. The normal conversation is between humans is that.
You say by playing politics.
Politics.
What exactly?
What does
is
it mean?
Means you are trying to influence me, or you are trying to take an unfair advantage.
Manipulate.
Manipulate. Yes.
Okay, very.
Politics means always manipulation.
No, sir, it is not always manipulation, but in normal conversation when we are talking with friends, we always use the term politics as manipulation.
So they are not using it in the right sense, this word?
Not always in the right sense they are using it.
Not always in the right sense.
No, ma'am.
Okay. So how do we differentiate with what is the right sense and what is the wrong sense?
Ma'am, in normal conversation, people are often using politics as wrong with a wrong connotation because they are watching politics around the world and they think that politics is bad. So when they are talking or having a conversation and when a friend thinks he's manipulating him, then they use the term politics.
Okay. If you have to trace the women's political participation, the history of women's political participations, how would you do that?
Sorry, ma'am?
History of women's political participation.
Yes, ma'am, I would say the women's political participation is increasing. If we see in 1951, the first Lok Sabha, the participation of women was very low. I would say it was around 1 or 2%. And now if we see in parliament, we have 14% participation of women. So the participation rate of women has been increasing. And with the 73rd and 74th amendment, which is providing almost 33% reservation to women, and this has also increased.
Where 33% reservation, where are they getting?
In local bodies.
In local bodies. Has it been successful in all states?
Ma'am, it is partly successful because of the issue of Sarpanch Pati, because there is more of proxy representation of women and not the correct actual representation of women. So I would say it is partly successful. In some areas, women has worked very well and they have overcome patriarchy and they are now working. One woman, I would say Fatima B from Andhra Pradesh, has also received UN award for her work. So I would say there is partly success and there are also messes in the 73rd and 74th.
Okay, continue. Then after that, what is the presence see?
In present parliament, we see there is 14% participation of women in parliament.
Which is like 50% of the population is women, but we only have 17, so we still say that it's very good.
Ma'am, I would say it is progressing, it is increasing.
Why women don't come into politics? I recently heard, women politicians saying that, the kind of attitude which is attached to politics is because of that women do not come forward to be a part of active politics. So
maybe because it is of social conditioning in family that women do not join politics. But I would say this is also
what do you think should be done? What do you think should be the right steps to be taken to ensure that there's good participation of women in politics?
Ma'am, I would think the women reservation bill that is pending.
Then why government is taking so long to pass?
The government has its own arguments. Government is saying that it is not necessary that only a woman can represent a woman in parliament, and it should be based on merit, more based on merit. So the government is not keen on passing the women reservation bill.
Okay. You play cricket.
Yes, ma'am.
Why in India, now this IPL is going on, why in India the cricket is compared to the other sports given so much of publicity, money, the cricketers earn so much compared to the other sports? Why?
Ma'am, I would say after the 1983 World Cup, there was increasing popularity of cricket in India. And it is broadcasted well, it is funded well, and there are new leagues of cricket. So the craze of cricket in the country has gone up. And that's why cricket has become a very popular sport in India.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jainom, you must have seen that people are celebrating the death of Atiq Ahmed, right? So why do you think that there is this kind of psychology that is coming out because of his death? Because he was killed executed in a way.
Yes, sir.
So why do you think that is happening?
Sir, this is happening because Atiq Ahmed was responsible for many murders and many other kind of atrocities.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why people thought that he was a criminal and all criminals should be killed. And this has been the mentality of people that all criminals should be wiped out. And there is also a communal angle, I feel. So the Hindu people are more supporting the killing of Atiq Ahmed.
So there was one panelist who asked you about reform in judiciary. Do you think judiciary is not responsible for this kind of feelings that people have come out with? When was the first case against him booked? 1980s. He's still not in jail, convicted. So do you not think that the judiciary is also responsible for this?
Sir, I would say judiciary is overburdened, and
30 years they cannot solve a case. They cannot give a conviction or acquittal in one case. This much overburden they have.
Sir, judiciary is having problems with infrastructure, is having problems with judges.
Still, do you think 30 years is okay?
No, sir, it is not fine because it is necessary to give faster judgment, and it is necessary that a free and fair justice is given to people. So it is not fair on part of judiciary to prolong the case, but I would say the lawyers and their arguments, and they have extended the case for 30 years.
So why can't we have a limit that all such cases have to be decided within 30 days?
Sir,
For that you do not require any additional infrastructure.
So I would say there is need for fast track courts in such cases. The cases which are prolonging for more than 10 years.
And you appear to be justifying the delay in pronouncing a judgment.
Yes, sir.
What I'm saying is, why can't we have a limit? That's why I asked you question on the judicial reform.
Yes, sir.
Why can't we say that all heinous crimes or important cases will be decided within 30 days? Come what may?
Sir, it would not be free and fair justice.
Why?
Because the judiciary gives every kind of opportunity to a
That's
criminal.
fine, but you say that whatever has to be done with that has to be done within 30 days.
So I would say in that case, fast track courts could be employed.
No,
So that
whatever.
cases could be
Whether
resolved
fast track or slow track, it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Suppose government through some enactment says that all such cases have to be decided within 30 days. Why can't we do that?
Sir, because it would be against the principle of natural justice.
Well, you give an opportunity, whatever you have to produce as an evidence, you have to do it within 30 days.
Sir, in every case, new kind of evidence would emerge.
This is an unending kind of a thing.
Yes.
You have to draw a line somewhere. That's why I said efficiency and discipline, what is more important?
Sir,
Please tell me.
okay, sir.
So in UP there is also UP MP there is also this thing that if you commit a crime I'll come and pull your house down. So do you think this is correct?
No, sir,
this
this
seems
is
to be very popular with people.
yes, sir. So this is not absolutely correct.
Why?
This is not correct, I would say.
Why?
So because people are taking law into their own hands and
Government is doing. People are not breaking houses, na?
Yes,
So government can take the law into its hand. It has made the law.
no, sir. So the government can also not take law into its own hands because if you are promoting encounters or if
If
you
you
are
not encounter, I'm breaking your house here,
yes, sir.
which is illegally made on public land. What's so wrong with that?
Sir, it's not wrong if people are making their houses on government land or acquired or the property of the government. It's not correct. So the UP government is also correct in that case that they are removing encroachments
But
on
I'm
government
only
land.
breaking your house because you committed a crime. Otherwise, I was okay with your encroachment. So then,
Sir, I would say this is a politically motivated issue, and it happens if the political angle does not meet with the government.
So you are from Marathwada or you are from Nasik? Nasik
No,
division.
sir, I am from Nasik division. Yes, sir.
Okay, so you studied in some this Marathwada Mitra Mandal, and
Yes,
you are
sir.
from Maharashtra, right?
Yes, sir.
So we were talking about Telangana. So there has been a talk of Marathwada being a state, made a state. So what do you think, that is correct or wrong? And do you think it was right to create a separate state out of Telangana from cutting it out from Andhra?
Sir, responding to the first question, Marathwada cannot be made a separate state because, sir, there will be problem with division of resources, and there may be problem of conflicts of water for water sharing. So it will create new kinds of problems by dividing the state. And Marathwada is about 3/4 of the Marathwada region is agricultural land. So there will also not be diverse economic activity in Marathwada. And this will also
Is there
create-
any diverse? So if there is no diverse economic activity, it has been close to 60-70 years since Maharashtra was formed. What have the governments been doing for Marathwada then? In 60-70 years, they haven't been able to solve this problem.
And moreover, why didn't you compare it with the division of Andhra Pradesh
Yes.
between two, Andhra Pradesh and Telangana? Again, there was some kind of a problem.
So the Andhra Pradesh and Telangana have more cultural differences.
How? They are both Telugu.
So they are both Telugu, but they have different festivals. The festivals are separate. The festivals are
जिसका भी separate festival है उसको divide कर दें.
no, sir. So there was ongoing conflict for about 40-50 years.
What was the basic reason for that conflict?
So they were saying that there was unbalanced regional development.
Most of the hospitals, most of the IT companies, they were in Telangana because Hyderabad was historically a part of Telangana then.
Yes, sir. But sir, they were also raising issues of cultural differences between Andhra Pradesh and
I am
Telangana.
unable to understand the cultural difference that you are trying to
Yes.
make me understand. What was that cultural difference?
So there were difference in food, difference in religious practices they were following.
What people in West UP do is completely different from people in East UP.
Yes.
Does that mean we divided into two?
No, sir. So there was also an issue of migration of workers from Andhra Pradesh to Telangana, and this is also creating a problem because local people were not getting employment.
Achha. Chalo, theek hai. So I'll just ask you one final question. See, you're talking about status, wealth, and power. So you know, there is a constant demand everywhere that since you are trying to join the government, that, you know, bring the old pension scheme back.
Yes.
And this new pension scheme is not working. There is no social security. So what are your views? Should we bring the old pension scheme back? Any ideas on that?
Sir, I would say the new pension scheme is the way forward because the government is not having enough funds. Even the life expectancy is increasing.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are moving back to old pension scheme, then we have to pay about 50% of their last drawn salary. And this would be extended for many years because of the life expectancy of the people, which is increasing. And the government does not have enough financial resource to support this. And in new pension scheme, it is market driven. And this can earn them money.
No, they are not happy, na? It's not earning them money.
So maybe, sir, we could employ a solution that has been employed by Andhra Pradesh, which is a mix of old pension scheme and new pension scheme, where they are saying the people to contribute 10% of the salary, and they will provide almost 30 to 40% of their last drawn salary after retirement.
I'm not sure that is the case, but thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
So thank you very much, Jainom.
Thank you, sir.
Your formal interaction with us is over. Now is the time to give you the feedback.
Yes, sir.
How did your interview go with us today?
So I would say it was okay. I was not able to answer many opinionated-based questions correctly.
This is your first mock?
No, sir, this is second mock.
पहले मॉक्स में आपको क्या एडवाइस दिया गया?
Sir, I would say that you should speak slowly. You should not
That is one
speak
part.
fast.
What else?
And they said me to be more organized while I was talking.
When you say organize, what does that mean?
Means your important points should come first and not afterwards.
All right. Now let me come to this feedback.
Thank you.
So, Jainom, this is not the test of your knowledge.
Yes.
That has already been tested.
Yes.
It is basically evaluation of your personality
Yes.
for the civil services. And when I say evaluation, it means basically to find out whether you are a suitable candidate for civil services in terms of your character, in terms of your thinking process,
Yes.
and whether you have got a passion for the work and passion for looking after the interest of those who are poor, from scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, backward, minorities, women, and that kind of thing,
Yes.
plus the leadership quality.
Yes.
So having said that, let me tell you that you are a very good, articulate candidate.
Yes.
You have got huge potential.
Yes.
You have got a very good command over your language, and your voice modulation is also quite good.
Yes.
However, there are certain weaknesses in your personality at this point of time. When is your interview?
16th May.
So before time,
Yes.
don't give generalized statement.
Yes.
Most of your answers are very highly generalized.
Yes.
You're not writing some kind of an essay for your competition.
Yes.
You have to express your views.
Yes.
That's why I said here we would like to listen to your views.
Yes.
And whether those views are based on some logic, some reasoning, and with some natural
Yes.
content. However, most of your answers are basically status quo kind.
Yes.
कि जो चल रहा है उसी को चलने दे. आपसे बार बार पूछा on administrative reform, judicial reform. Somehow you are giving an impression of going by what is being said by the judicial people.
Yes.
The lack of infrastructure and things like that. But आप सोचिए from a litigant point of view.
Yes.
That's why I asked you whether you are visited any court or not.
Yes.
क्या प्रॉब्लम है उनका? अभी आपने बताया एंड ऑनरेबल मेंबर आज 30 years. अगर आपने कोई क्वेश्चन, आपने कोई there is a land dispute and you go to the court and you wait for 30 years.
Yes.
सारा the entire thing is gone
Yes.
and it is not contributing to the nation building also.
Yes.
Rather, it is retarding nation building.
Yes.
So why can't we expedite? वो basic structure is one, we should be able to give judgment within a predictable timelines.
Yes.
Number two, the quality of judgment.
Yes.
And that means the quality of judicial officers.
Yes.
But somehow that was not reflected from your answers. You are going here, there, everywhere, but not to that.
Sir, should we say that there should be a time limit? On
I don't know, I'm asking you. You do some kind of an introspection. Huh?
Yes.
आप सोचो या बात करो किसी से जो कोर्ट में गया है कि उसका सबसे बड़ा पेन पॉइंट क्या है.
Yes, sir.
उसके दो पेन पॉइंट हो सकते हैं. एक तो वी डोंट नो कि कितने दिन तक चलेगा.
Yes.
Number 2, quality of judgment. We are not very sure कि जो judgment है वो free and fair होगा.
Yes.
In the sense, it is based on some reasoning kind of thing and fair होगा. Not influenced by money, power or the influence. हर आदमी ये कह रहा है, जैसे अभी बात हुई कि Atiq Ahmed, he went to the Supreme Court and they said, you go to UP.
Yes.
Ultimately, he was killed.
Yes.
Do you think it was fair? जब वो कह रहा है कि there is an apprehension on his life, so they should have said कि all right, UP नहीं होगा, अगर आप गुजरात नहीं रखना चाहते हैं तो let us send him to Madhya Pradesh, but not to UP. So one, unless people have got belief in the fairness of the judgment, there will be a chaos. Secondly, predictable timelines. 2. And third, can we reduce litigation? How can we do that? You did not say anything about arbitration and a whole lot of it. Arbitration must have some kind of finality.
Yes.
Today, what happens? The cases are being referred to arbitration, but then thereafter, these are subject to High Court and then Supreme Court, so nothing happens ultimately.
Yes.
Think about it.
Yes.
Discuss with your people.
Yes.
Similarly, in administrative reforms, similarly in judicial reform, these are very important issues. Secondly, you did not give any out-of-box thinking kind of a response. Gusse pite se jawab dene se, you are different than an ordinary guy, na?
Yes.
A guy on the street. तो guy in the street क्या होगा, वो तो ऐसी बात करेगा जैसे अभी बात हो रही थी about politics.
Yes.
I say what use किया करते हैं बैठ के. But if you are appearing, if you are an aspirant for the civil service, it is expected that you will give some new ideas.
Yes.
These ideas have to come from you because you get the protection of the constitution. Nobody can remove you.
Yes.
So that is one. And finally, I must say that passion for work जो होना चाहिए ना, वो भी that is not a great. You must show some passion.
Yes.
कि मैं ये काम कर लूँगा. वो तभी डिफरेंट होगा when you are giving some innovative solution. You can tell us कि मैंने ये काम किया बीच में और मैंने ये एक्सपेरिमेंट किया. Result कुछ भी आए, doesn't matter. But we must have the courage.
Yes.
To take initiative, to take decisions, whether these are pleasant decisions or wrong decisions and unpleasant decisions. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Our job is to take decisions and to help politicians to take decisions.
Yes.
So you are a wonderful candidate. Don't give it up.
Yes, sir.
लेकिन आप मुझे लगा कि कहीं शायद ये सोचो कि मैं I should not displease government.
Yeah.
Don't do that. You are not here, and everybody is saying the same thing. आप ये मत सोचिए कि गवर्नमेंट को, इवन द प्राइम मिनिस्टर हिमसेल्फ इज सेइंग द अदर डे व्हेन ही वाज एड्रेसिंग द सिविल सर्विस ऑन द सिविल सर्विस डे, ही सेड कि आप जो भी डिसीजन लेते हैं सबसे पहले सोचिए कि क्या विल इट लीड टू मोर करप्शन, विल इट लीड टू fulfillment of some personal agenda of somebody.
Yes.
So that means what? You must take decision whether these are unpleasant to your minister. तो अगर अभी से आप ये सोचेंगे कि मैं वही लाइन टो करूं जो गवर्नमेंट की, so but your answer on same sex was very good and very categorical when you said कि yes, it should be allowed.
Yes.
All the very best.
Thank you, sir.
Don't leave it.
Yes, sir.
You can make it.
Yes.
And you should put your best foot forward.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
But all the best. Just listen to the question and then answer. Don't be too quick to answer.
Yes, ma'am.
एकदम question खत्म होते, it's not like that. Just take a moment and then you answer. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, Jainom, see, the thing is that we know some keywords, right?
Yes.
So it's very nice to say them, like 360-degree appraisal.
Yes.
Do you actually know what 360-degree appraisal is?
No, sir.
आपने पूछा, ये कभी नहीं होता.
See, 360 में आपके सबऑर्डिनेट से भी पूछते हैं कि साहब कैसे हैं.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, तो एवरीबडी ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक, दैट इज सो इफ यू आर थ्रोइंग अ कीवर्ड ना, बेटर नो अबाउट इट.
Yes.
राइट. सो एज सर सेड, यू नो, डीपर एनालिसिस इज एक्सपेक्टेड ऑफ यू.
But by the way, I must tell you, and we have been a part of that system. The 360-degree system has created havoc, I must say, because it is subject to a lot of subjectivity.
Yes.
Lot of subjectivity. तो आप 360 मान मैं कर रहा हूँ आपके बारे में, मैंने आपके कुलीग से पूछ लिया, आपके सीनियर कोई सीनियर था उससे पूछ लिया, जूनियर पूछ लिया, आई गेट बाय.
So, like, see, you said the number of courts are less. On what is the basis for that? Just because population. But we are not a litigious society like the US.
Yes.
तो अगर मैं litigation कर ही नहीं रहा, अब 30 साल तक फैसला नहीं आएगा तो मैं कोर्ट क्या जाऊँगा? आपस में सेटल कर लेते हैं जिस तरीके से करना है. तो litigation, how litigious our society is, that will also decide ना. So these kinds of deeper analysis would be better rather than just 360
Yes, sir.
degree कर लेते हैं. ठीक है.
छोटा जवाब दो बट वो जवाब दो जो विच इज कमिंग फ्रॉम योर हार्ट.
Yes.
कोई डरो मत बिल्कुल. देयर इज नथिंग टू फियर.
Yes.
These 35 minutes will be yours.
Yes.
आप जो बोलना चाहते हो बोलिए. But it should come from your heart with lot of reasons.
Yes.
तो पहला इंटरव्यू है ना.
Yes.
So you will get that benefit of the first interview.
Yes.
All the best.
Thank you.
Good luck to you.